Sheylla Cabrera was the kind of person everyone noticed, not because she tried to stand out, but because her warmth pulled people in. She was gentle, soft-spoken, and a devoted mother of 3 boys who adored her. Friends say she had a calmness that could quiet a storm. She was the one who remembered birthdays, the one who showed up when others didn't. But beneath that soft voice and steady smile, there was fear. A fear that grew quietly, until it swallowed her whole. She lived in Lancaster, California, in a modest home with her husband, Jossimar Cabrera Cornejo. To neighbors, they looked like an ordinary family. A husband, a wife, 3 children, the picture of peace in the high desert sunshine. But those closest to her sensed something was wrong. Sheylla had become distant, nervous, her messages shorter, her laugh quieter. She once told a friend she wanted to start over, but she never said why. And then, she was gone. August 12th, 2025. It was a Monday morning when everything began to unravel. No one had heard from Sheylla. She didn't call her mother. She didn't drop her boys off at school. She didn't go to work. That was the first red flag. Sheylla was consistent, reliable. She never vanished, not even for a day. By evening, her family grew frantic. They called her phone, no answer. They drove to her house, no response. Finally, they called police and reported her missing. When officers arrived, Jossimar met them at the door. He looked calm, too calm. He said Sheylla had left, that she'd walked away after an argument. He claimed she'd been taken by immigration agents. But that didn't make sense. Sheylla was a legal resident, and there were no records of an ICE visit anywhere near Lancaster that day. The story fell apart almost instantly. Police asked to look around. He let them see parts of the house, but not everything. Something felt off. The next day, investigators canvassed the neighborhood, and that's when a neighbor handed them footage. That would change everything. At 4 a.m., the same night Sheylla supposedly left, a security camera recorded Jossimar Cabrera Cornejo dragging a large wrapped object across the parking lot. It was long, heavy, tightly bound. He struggled to lift it into his white pickup truck. Then he drove away. Sheylla never came home. For 2 days, detectives searched the area. They brought in dogs, drones, volunteers. Every hour felt heavier for her family. Her mother said she couldn't sleep. Her sister posted online, begging for help. The post went viral. Hundreds of strangers joined the search, but by August 16, hope began to fade. That morning, hikers deep in Angeles National Forest called 911 after noticing a strong odor coming from a steep embankment near mile marker 27. Deputies arrived and followed the trail down the slope. There, hidden under branches and leaves, they found a body wrapped in a gray tarp. Inside was Sheylla Cabrera. She'd been stabbed several times and suffered blunt force trauma. The wrapping matched the same material seen in the surveillance video. Her pajamas were still on, her wedding ring still on her finger. The discovery broke her community. News spread fast through Lancaster. Sheylla's photo appeared on every local station. Friends gathered outside her home with candles and flowers. Neighbors whispered about the footage, and detectives confirmed what many feared. They believed Jossimar had killed his wife, then fled the country with their 3 children. He was officially charged with murder. Authorities contacted Interpol and the U.S. Marshals Service. An international arrest warrant was issued. Meanwhile, in Peru, local media began reporting the story. Photos of Sheylla and her children filled the news feeds. People demanded justice. Then, a week later, Jossimar walked into a police station in Lima and surrendered. He told officers he'd heard the world was looking for him. He was detained immediately. Back in California, prosecutors announced they would seek his extradition to face trial in Los Angeles County. They described the killing as brutal and deliberate. In a press briefing, Sheriff Robert Luna said, "This was not random. This was a woman killed by someone she trusted." Her family wept as the words echoed on TV screens. For them, justice would be slow, but it was finally in motion. Friends described Sheylla as a mother who lived for her kids. She volunteered at school. She loved music, and she was trying, quietly, to build a better life. One friend told People magazine that Sheylla had confided fears about her marriage. She said she felt trapped, that she'd thought about leaving, but didn't know how. She never got the chance. At the vigil, hundreds gathered under candlelight. Some were neighbors, some didn't even know her, but they came to stand for a woman whose voice had been silenced. Children held up hand-drawn signs reading, "Justice for Sheylla." Her mother spoke softly through tears. "She was my everything. She didn't deserve this." Investigators believe Jossimar acted alone. They haven't released an official motive, but prosecutors say financial tension and domestic issues may have played a role. Inside the couple's home, detectives found signs of a struggle, blood traces, cleaning products, and a missing section of carpet cut neatly from the floor. It matched the tarp used to wrap her body. Even now, months later, Lancaster residents still talk about the case. It shook a community that rarely makes headlines, and it forced many to confront how easily quiet suffering can hide in plain sight. Sheylla's friends say she wasn't the type to complain. She'd say, "I'm fine," even when she wasn't. She smiled through worry. She protected everyone, except herself. The extradition process is still underway. Once returned to California, Jossimar will face charges of first-degree murder and flight to avoid prosecution. If convicted, he could spend life in prison without parole. For now, he sits in a Peruvian detention center, a world away from the desert home where everything fell apart. For Sheylla's family, the waiting is agony. Her mother still sets a plate for her at family dinners. Her oldest son sometimes asks why his father hurt his mom. No one knows what to say. Because how do you explain evil to a child who's still learning what love means? But even in loss, Sheylla's story has become a light for others. Her relatives created the Sheylla Cabrera Foundation, dedicated to helping women escape controlling or violent relationships. They provide housing assistance, legal support, and emergency transportation for mothers and children in danger. Their slogan reads, "Listen to her the first time," because Sheylla tried to speak, and the world was too slow to hear her. This case isn't just about one woman, it's about thousands who go unseen, who smile through fear, who keep families together while quietly falling apart themselves. Domestic abuse doesn't always look like bruises. Sometimes it looks like silence, like sudden distance, like someone saying, "I'm fine," when they're not. Sheylla's story reminds us that control can be invisible until it turns fatal. If you're listening right now and something about this story feels familiar, reach out. You don't have to live in fear. You deserve to be safe. As for Sheylla Cabrera, she will never be forgotten. Her name now stands for change. Her life, though stolen, sparked conversations that might save someone else, because sometimes it takes one tragedy to stop another. She was a mother, a sister, a friend, and she deserved so much more. I'm Mason Mysteries, and this was the story of Sheylla Cabrera, a woman whose love was endless, but whose life was cut short by the one person who should have protected her. If this story moved you, share it, not for numbers, but for awareness. Someone out there might still have time to escape. Subscribe, stay aware, and never ignore the signs, because every face hides a story, and some hide murder.